Friday she was open, and she told me a few things that, all my family and friends are saying red flag, but I would love to hear a different opinion, right?
Yeah.
She said for the last 15 years, she broke up 2 months ago with a relationship she had, that it was a guy and his wife, and she would just see them on the weekend. Not that she was with the wife, just the husband. And she did this for 15 years, and it fell apart. And on top of that, she said for the last 15 years, she's been sleeping. She lives with her father and mother, and she has a grown daughter, 22 years old. She stays in a room, and she's been sleeping in the living room, but yet she has money saved. So she has issues with money. That's neither here nor there. But my main concern is that she was in this open relationship with the wife and the husband. The guy didn't drive, and the wife was the one driving them around to meet up for board games, for movies on the weekend. She's 45. I'm 51.
Okay. How'd you meet her?
Okay. Off a Hinge.
Hinge. All right. How old is she?
She's 45. I'm 51.
Okay, gotcha.
She works in a medical office. She's like a manager.
How long you been dating her?
2 months, sir. 2 months.
And your goal is to what? Get in a relationship? Get married?
Yeah, I'm 51. Yeah, I wanted to, everything was nice. She's a very nice, she's nice looking. Everything. She's and I got the issue. She's got like low self-esteem. But the whole thing that she was with this guy for 15 years, and she was okay that he was married and this, that. It's just everybody's telling me, "Run, that's crazy."
So, did she like learn anything from that experience, or did she tell you why she was even involved in that in the first place?
She said that she got together with a guy when she was 15. That's the guy she had the kid with, and she was with him for like 10 years. And then they fell apart, and that's when she moved into her house. And she met him on one of those 50, I don't know if I can say shade, and he was like, it started like she was his submissive, and she was okay with all of it. And before she knew it, it was 15 years. And I think it's because of her low self-esteem. And then she says, if we, this, and if we go forward, I'm never gonna move in with you because I'm taking care of my daughter, because after Corona, she just turned 22. She doesn't really leave the house, and she has, like, no pun intended, it's real. She has 3 cats. So I see issues besides her being very quiet. She just goes along. It seems to me that she is very what do you call that, low self-esteem, and she has issues with like she'll go along with anything. And but then another thing that freaked me out was that 15-year whatever she had, it was some a relationship that they argued because he used to keep quiet to check her with her friend that she goes drinking with, and she said, if you don't care, I don't care, and they left it at that. And that's when she started dating. Like, she didn't put no closure to that relationship. She just basically walked away from it. And that's the part that hit me the hardest. Like, whoa, wouldn't you want to tell him, okay, we're done. I'm going to start seeing other people, have a great life, How do you just walk away from 15 years and not close it and start dating right away?
Wait, so how long ago did that end?
Sir, that happened 3 months for her.
So three months ago, she was still in that situation.
Yes, sir. And she said the last text she had with him, he disappeared because, he told her not to go drinking. And for 2 days, he didn't talk to her. And so when she got it, she goes, oh, we can talk about things, you just disappearing. And she goes, if you don't care, and she showed me the text, I don't care. And he sent her a picture with his cat, and he goes, he cares. And then they stopped talking for 2 months or 3 months. And within those 2 months, she set up a profile and started, and I was the third guy I met. She met.
Nah, move on. Move
You're
on.
like my brother. That's all he said, one word. Not like my cousin's trying to give me all the angles. Yeah. My brother said, just move on.
Just move on, brother. Like, you can deal with someone who had a past if they have integrated the experience, meaning
yes,
they've learned the lesson from the experience. That's not what's going on here. Considering she was with this person for that long, and then that just ended 3 months ago. She's only on the apps as a way to distract herself or fill that void. So she's not like, this is not a situation where a woman was acting out of character, learned the error of her ways, and then has gotten on a new path to where she can be in alignment with someone in a healthy relational dynamic. This is someone who would actually prefer to still be in the situation that she just left. and is now, but she was forced out of it. So now she's trying to fill a void, which is why she's on the apps, which is why I tell y'all not to date on apps, because a lot of people on apps are in that situation. They're looking for someone to fill a void. They're needy around a relationship, and they're oftentimes looking for a way to escape into a new person to make them feel better about whatever situation they just recently left.
Wow.
So yeah,
you're very knowledgeable, and like they say, out of a mouth of child, the truth will come out. She told me that her ex-husband, because she has a kid, and she told him, you hit it right on the head, host. And she told her ex-husband, she hasn't been dealing with him for the 50, and he told her, you know what? You're still the same 24-year-old girl that I divorced. That as soon as something doesn't go right, you look for validation and attention on dating sites from men. She goes, you did him like you did with me. He goes, I'm not right or wrong. She said the word. He said, it didn't work out, but your actions, you're 45, you're going to be 50, and you're still the same woman.
Right. Yeah, she's cooked. She's cooked, unfortunately. So yeah, go ahead and move on, brother. This is a waste of time.
Have a great day, man. Bless you. Thank you. I needed this.
Take care, bro. All right. 15-year as the known side piece. Yikes. Yikes. Yeah, that's a waste of time. That's a waste of time for sure. All right, people, this is a dating and relationship Q&A. If you have any questions pertaining to dating and relationships, you can just hit the button at the bottom of the screen with the blue and pink person, and I'll bring you up. If you see me like clapping, there's a mosquito in here, and I can't locate that motherfucker. Can't locate him. So I'm listening to y'all's questions, but I'm also like on high alert because I got to tap that ass. As soon as I see him tapping that ass, immediately. That's why she's looking for validation. She just lost her purpose. Exactly. She doesn't have a sense of self. And then her not having a sense of self obviously has bled into her parenting style, which is why her daughter is so frozen in development. If a woman ever told me I'm a side piece, I say deuces. All right, Mr. O'Neal. Have you ever been in that situation? Have you ever been like the other man? I've been in that situation unintentionally. I didn't know. I had no idea. Some people will lie to you, man. It's crazy. All right, people, if you have any questions, make sure you hit the button at the bottom of the screen with the blue and pink person. I'll bring you up, and I'll solve your issue. I've had a woman want me to join a poly. I said, hell no. Nah. Poly people be chopped a lot of time, bro. Chopped and screwed. You can almost like guess. Well, you're a poly, aren't you? How did you know? Your face, actually. Your face and the purple hair that you have. That kind of was the dead giveaway. But who else do we have? Hello.
Yo.
What's going on, man?
All right. What's up? So I had this one situation, right? I can just hop into it, like.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, for sure. So basically, there was this girl, right? It kind of started a couple months ago. Mm-hmm. To a situation where I was just walking down the street for real. Like, I was waiting on some friends for the meetup, whatever. And she was like driving in a car with her friends, right?
Yeah.
And so she kind of like hollered at me from the side at a car. And she basically like was trying to get at me. She was like, oh, you fine? Let me get your number. And at the time, I wasn't really going for it because she was kind of like, I don't know, she was drunk or whatever. I didn't really, you know what I'm saying? I got standards and shit. I'm not really trying to fuck with that. So I gave her the number. I was just trying not to be rude. She wanted to like text me a couple times and I just let it die. Right? So a couple months go by and me and one of my homeboys wind up going to go play basketball. And we're hooping and there's this girl there and we don't recognize each other. Obviously it's the girl. We don't recognize each other. So we just playing ball or whatever, talking, chopping it up. Wound up having like a pretty good conversation and we exchanged like Instagrams, right? So over Instagram, I invited her to go play again at some place. Gave her my number, you know, it's some cool shit, kind of flirty, whatever, right? So she gets the number and then all the old messages pop up from when we were texting. So we was like, oh, we low-key knew each other, we've been here, this, that, you know, start flirting or whatever. We wound up going on a date to like a bar. The date was cool, good vibes, you know, left, she kissed me, went on, texted. We started dating for like a couple months for real. Like, she be busy because she play basketball. I do stuff like that, so it was kind of busy type shit, right? So basically, everything was cool, but I always kind of felt like I couldn't tell if she really fucked with me like that or not, or maybe it was just like her personality. If she was like not super like touchy or into me, because I'm used to girls like when they like me, like they're all over me, like they touch me, they hype me up, you know what I'm saying? Like they make a nigga feel good.
Right.
But she wasn't really doing that. But then she would like text me like good morning, and she would invite me places and do things. So I guess like I don't know. I didn't really know what I was thinking or what she was thinking. So a couple months go by, we wound up going out again. This was probably maybe like a couple weeks ago, right? So we go out, and it's me, her roommate, and her roommate's girlfriend, because roommate's gay, right? So whatever. I take them out to go do this like axe throwing thing. It was real cool, fun vibes or whatever. But it was still like that kind of situation where like she seemed like she liked me, but she ain't really fucking me like that. I didn't know. All right, whatever. So there comes a point where we go to a separate spot and we sit on the couch, and like my arm's out, but she not like sitting under me. So I'm like, the little flirty whatever. I'm like, oh, come here. Like you be acting like you don't like me or nothing like that, right?
Right.
And she's like, nah, I do, right? And then she asked me a question. She's like, but do you feel like you need the person you're talking to like be all over you for you to know they like you? And I'm like, no, not for real, but I appreciate certain things. Like when they let me know that they like me, like, okay, when you text me good morning, like that let me know you like me. And when you touch me and stuff like that let me know you like me. Right? Because she would do little shit like we would first see each other when we were finna hang out or whatever.
Right.
And she would look at me and she would like kind of look down and give me a hug, but she wouldn't kiss me type shit. But then when we leave, she would kiss me. I'm like, maybe I overthink or overread it, but it was just little shit like that would just throw me off. So I told her that. I was like, when you kiss me when you first see me, like that lets me know you like me, right? Anyways, we had that conversation. She was telling me stuff. I was telling her stuff, whatever, boom. So the next day comes by, and like I think I texted her good morning, and then like usually she'll wake up at like 6, 7, she'll text me. I'm like, all right, cool. She like waited till like 11 o'clock, and then like didn't say good morning. She was just like, hi, have a good day type shit. And then a little conversation light, and then it kind of kept going like that through the week. And I was like, all right, I feel like I don't know. So then I just went like a whole day without texting her. I'm like, all right, cool, let me see, right? And she didn't text me that whole day either. So then I was like, okay, I'm kind of seeing like, I don't know what I'm saying, but I'm not reading the defense right or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Right. So basically, normally I'm like real chill. I don't do too much. Like I'm a reserved, chill. I don't show too much emotion type shit like that. But I don't know why. I think maybe because I liked her so much, she kind of got me out of my body a little bit. So I texted her and I was like, what did I say, bro? I was like, not gonna lie, if you're not gonna give me the energy I like, I'm gonna be cool. Right. And like for me, that was like, damn, I knew I kind of fucked up because you probably shouldn't really say nothing. But then like it was weird because we didn't really text, and then I sent that, and immediately she replied. She was like, OMG, I had a crazy day. I just been so busy that I've been meaning to have a conversation with you, but whatever, right? So I was like, all right, cool. Now this was like last weekend, so she was going out with some friends, right? Because it was like a birthday thing, so she went out of town with some friends. So I let it die. I sent that text like 10 p.m. She sent right back. I went to sleep, woke up the next day, it's like 2 in the afternoon. I sent her another text. I was like, I get you being busy for sure, but we just started fucking with each other. I was thinking like we was on the same page. If not, you could say that, but if we are, like, a text would be cool. You know what I'm saying? Like a whole day without texting, like I don't know, maybe that's me type shit, but whatever. But then after that, 3 days go by, she was out with her friends. She come back and she's like, sorry, I had a crazy time with my friends. It was cool. Basically, like, but what'd she say? She was like, you're right, I could have communicated better, but honestly, I've been so busy, I think we should just slow things down. And I was like, all right, for sure. So I just told her, I'm glad you had a good time. And then she texted me like, cool, and like I've been posting on social media. She was like, I really like the content you be posting and shit like that. And I just hearted her message and kind of let it die. And then since then, like, she would kind of like some of my stuff and like slide up on my stories and shit, but it ain't really been no extra or whatever. Like, it definitely hasn't been the vibe that it used to be. So it was like a real good vibe before. So I guess my question is, after that long ass story, like, I don't know, what's your read on the situation? Is it something I just kind of let die, or do I try to like recover it, or what? I don't know what to do. But I really fucked with her was the thing, like, you know what I'm saying?
Okay. How long did y'all like date, like interact with one another?
This was probably like 2 months, 2.5 months.
Okay, 2.5 months, and she the one that shot at you, right?
Yes, initially, she was the one that shot at me. I kind of let it die, and then we met up again at another time and then picked it up.
Okay. How frequently did y'all see one another?
I would say at least once a week, at the most like twice a week. Just because our schedules, we was both busy. Like I work weekends, she play basketball, she be going out of town, that type of thing.
Gotcha. Okay. So when like you first met her, was there any difference in terms of like how she engaged as opposed to how things ended?
Um, yeah, and this was a piece I kind of like picked up because I watched a lot of your content, like read that shit too. So basically, when we was first dating, like she was real super into it. Like she would text me back fast. She would multiple letters, you know, shit like that. Cool. So
Right.
oh, I did miss a key piece, right?
Okay.
Basically, that would happen, right? I'll drop the key piece here. There was a point where I was finna go out of town. This was for the 4th of July. So I was finna go out of town. And I told her, like, oh, I want to see you before I go. Now, of course, she's busy. She working. So she was like, okay, you know, I'll make time for you. But I'll have to see if I can do it, you know, on Wednesday or Thursday before you go. Right? So Wednesday come by. She don't really say nothing. I'm like, all right, whatever. Thursday come by. And it's like 8 o'clock on Thursday. Like 8 p.m. Like, I'm finna leave at like 4 in the morning. Like, she texts me. She's like, oh, it's still working. Just 2 words. I'm like, okay. So in my head, I took it as maybe she just not fuck. It was still when I was like, I can't figure her out. So I'm like, maybe she just not fucking with me like that. So I didn't really text her for like 2-3 days. I went out of town. I did my shit, whatever. It's been 2-3 days. She texts me while I'm out there, like, hope you're having fun, whatever. I'm like, I'm kind of cool. So I wait a couple days. I heard the message. I'm like, appreciate you. I get back and like I send her a text. I just say, hey. And she sent me an emoji, like confused, like almost like, all you gonna say is hey? So I was like, let me call her, see what her vibe is. So I FaceTimed her and she didn't answer. So I sent her a text and I was like, hey, I just got back. Hoping we can see each other unless you're not really feeling it. And then she called me like the next day saying, because I didn't text her for 2 or 3 days, she thought I didn't fuck with her. And I told her that like, because you basically kind of blew me off, I feel like you didn't fuck with me. But then we talked about it, we was on the same page. So we wound up going on another date after that. And this is where like, I think I kind of fucked up in terms of like energy shift, right? Because basically we go on the date, and because she told me that she got mad that I didn't text her for 2 days, like, I guess I sort of upped my energy in a sense to where I started texting her like every day. You know, I bought her flower on the date. You know, I started doing other things like that. And in my head, looking back on the situation, I feel like that type of thing maybe turned her off a little bit because it slowly started to pull her back a little bit.
Right.
And it wasn't crazy up until that night that I told you about where I told her all the things that I liked her and she didn't text me good morning and shit like that. Like, that's when it was more like, okay, like, it pulled back. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. You always want to look at like around the time where the behavior shifts, because behavioral shifting always means something, right? And sometimes it's not anything you've done on your end. Sometimes it's something that's going on in their lives. Like maybe there's a stressor that you don't know about. Maybe an ex came back into the picture. I mean, she obviously is someone who shoots her shot. So she didn't just start doing that with you, I can assure you. You know, that's probably just how she carries it. So it could be she got male attention elsewhere. But per your recollection of the story, your behavior changed in the connection to where you started to like give a bit more energy. So it was a couple of things you did that kind of would suggest a bit of insecurity. So one is, well, the main one is constantly looking for signs that she liked you. Right? There's one thing to want a kind of treatment just because it makes you feel good. There's another thing where it's like, okay, I'm looking for that treatment because I associate that with somebody who fucks with me for real. And then even vocalizing it and packaging it in that way can be a turnoff because it again, it subcommunicates insecurity, right? So, and y'all say you're how old? You say you're 19, right?
No, I'm 25.
25. How old is she?
He is 21.
21. Okay. Yeah. So that's going to be the main thing here. Now, she may also just have her own things going on, her own issues to work out, because the thing that makes like dating hard nowadays, one of the things rather, is everyone is consuming content about it. So it creates like this spy versus spy type of situation. This is something I have to tell like female clients where I'm like, you know, men are also consuming information as well. Like women will tell me like, well, I did this because I saw this other video where this person says you should engage in this way. And I'm like, well, men are watching their version of that content. So both of y'all are like, it's almost like war. You know what I mean? You're trying to out strategize the other person without realizing that they're doing the same thing with you. Right? So both of y'all were kind of looking for signs that the other person was really into the other person. And that made both of your postures come across as defensive. You know? Like one person has to be the one who's just going to engage from a more authentic place. And then that can likely put the other person at ease a little bit. Like, oh, I don't have to do these performative things for this person or be so defensive with them because they're showing up in a more authentic way. They're able to be vulnerable without, you know, kind of coming across like they have one foot in, one foot out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that if you didn't do the things you did that it would have magically worked out because she is young. Just so you know, the younger the woman is, the more the red pill shit applies. That may turn some people off, but that's just the truth. Like in high school, if a guy was just acting like the younger she is, the more like red pill rules apply. Just because the younger a person is, the more they're operating from ego.
Yeah.
And that's all egotistical shit, right? Older they get, the more they develop. This is true for both men and women. Older they get, the more they develop, and the more like nuances matter, right? But the younger they are, the more that black and white shit applies. That's just the truth, generally speaking. But yeah, man, it's just going to be on your end. I would say you're coming across in a more like anxiously attached way, where you're constantly looking for signs of if this person is rocking with me or not. That will be the thing to solve on your end. Just assume that she does. Just assume that she does.
Definitely probably am. Just because, like, I definitely had some like bad relationships in the past,
right?
Like crazy shit. So
because some people aren't really super affectionate.
Yeah.
Both men and women. That's not even how they display it. Like you'll hear some black and white stuff online where it's like, well, she's not all over you. She don't really rock with you for real. It's like, well, there's truth to that, sure. But then there's also a situation where maybe that's just not how she is, you know? So you can't look at it from a black and white perspective. All you can really do is make sure that you are handling things on your end. Now, with that being said, if you do like someone who is physically affectionate, the goal isn't to try to like force a woman to be there for you. You just want to observe, right? It's like, okay, well, this person seems to not be physically affectionate. That's very important to me. So we just probably not going to work out. Because like if you told her like, oh, I want you to be more physically affectionate, you know, the way this typically plays out, they may do it for a week or two, but then they're going to eventually default to their natural way of being. And then you put yourself in a situation where you're going to have to constantly complain about that and then feel like, sure, they ain't really rocking with you for real. It's best to just get someone who's already kind of naturally leans in that direction, you know? Because it doesn't sound like she didn't like you. It sounds like there was some things that was a turn off. Because the thing is, like, interest can grow or decline. It stays in a state of flux. And one thing that I disagree with a lot of the male content creators out there, the male coaches, is they make it seem like it's a static thing. Like if a woman has high interest in you, then the interest stays high. And I'm like, that's idiotic, because a lot of marriages and relationships start off with the woman who has high degree of interest, but they still get divorced and they still get broken up with because things change over time, right? Because it stays in a state of flux. So what you have to focus on is when you're on your purpose, you're coming from a masculine place, you work on certain intangible qualities like confidence and having a strong sense of self and inner security, so that your inner posture isn't impacted so much by any kind of external stimuli, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense for sure.
Right. So that's going to be a thing for you to work on is be a bit more grounded. Assume that she likes you, and then also get with women who just naturally show up in the way that you want them to show up. What were you about to say?
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, I guess what you say makes more sense. I was still going to ask something specific about the situation, but it seems like it's more of like it's a broader spectrum of what probably should be focused on, rather than just like, oh, should I text her or not, or whatever. It's more just like, just focus on improving my mental state about it.
Right. So like when I deal with male clients, man, I was gonna make some content about this because I want to get them Okay, so there's levels to it, right? And I try to see what level they're at to fix that. So there's some guys who just move in a way that's just inherently unattractive. Okay, so we got to move them up to the phase where they're just generally attractive. Okay, meaning they know how to lead, they know how to communicate, they know what's attractive about them, so they can kind of lean into it. They understand things like polarity. So let's get those core principles understood. So you're just generally attractive, right?
Right.
But then there are guys who understand some of the things I teach, and they try to change themselves based on the situation. Don't do that. Once you get to the place where you've mitigated you kind of handle the things that will make you come across as unattractive, like we just talked about, like the insecurity around, does she like me, does she not like me? Then you just want to be yourself. You don't want to change who you are. So in a situation like this, it wouldn't be, okay, what's the play here? That's the wrong mentality. It would be, I'm going to do the things I just naturally want to do. I text her because I genuinely want to text her. I call her because I genuinely want to call her. I ask her out because I genuinely want to see her. And then if she isn't responding in a way that I would like, right? Then this is just the wrong fit. Because if you get too performative to where, because there are guys out there like that, they kind of like really go deep into games, so they kind of know what play to make based on the situation, but then they end up forcing a situation that shouldn't have existed to begin with. And you don't want to ever come from that place. Once you get yourself up to a certain level of development, now it's like, let me just show up authentically, and the right people will stick around and the wrong people will leave.
I got you. No, that's good shit, for sure. Most definitely. Well, look, I appreciate it, Coach, man. I think I'm gonna book me a call, just because, like, I kind of want to dive a little deeper into it, see where
Absolutely,
I'm at,
bro.
you know?
Absolutely, bro. Yeah, just DM me the word coach, or you can just hit the link in my bio. You can book from there as well. But yeah, we can go deeper on this for sure, brother.
I got you. Have a good one.
All right, Chief. Take care. All right. For the rest of y'all, too, if you want a coaching call, you can just DM me the word coach. I'll learn a little bit about your situation. I'll send you a link to book, all right? Go a lot deeper than we can go on these calls. All right, who's next? Who we got?
Hello, I think it's me.
Hey, how you doing?
Sorry, I don't do this a lot.
Okay. What can I do for you?
So, the reason why I decided to join is I don't really have an issue with like dating and courting. My issue is more so I'm a homebody. I don't really get out much. So I find myself in a lot of situations where when I am meeting men, it's obviously going to be, out and about on a flyby. So it's never really like the type of man that I want to date, because maybe I'm not in the environments that I need to be in. And I have heard some friends tell me that I need to put myself in, specific settings and specific situations with the type of men that I like, or they'll say that maybe I just need to be the type of girl that's not afraid to initiate things.
Right.
So I guess that's my question is, like, if I am somebody that doesn't get out a lot, because
So you're able to attract men, but you're not attracting the type of men that you would actually want to be with. Is that the concern?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Like, out in the real world, it's not the type of men that I would like. Now, obviously it's different online, because online everyone has access to you.
Right.
But I also don't really like talking to people that I prefer dating people that I meet in real life.
Right.
So it's like, it's very hard for me. Like, let's say like a guy DMs me and he like matches what I like, and a guy, but it's like, I don't know you, I don't know any of your mutuals, like I can't go out there and verify who you are, and if everything you're telling me is true.
Right.
So it's like, on the internet, yeah, if I really wanted to, like, on the internet, like, I'm sure there's been people who DM'd me that I like, but it's like, I don't know you. And then in real life, I don't think I'm putting myself out there enough. Because I mean, like, if I go to the gas station, the guy that's asking me for my number, like 9 times out of 10, I don't want to talk to that guy.
So how would you define the type of man that you would be interested in?
Um, I like, I really like men who are intelligent, men who can hold a conversation and like be able to go in depth. I really don't like when I'm talking to a guy. I don't like when I feel like I don't like when I feel like I'm smarter than the man that I'm dating.
Okay. Okay.
Like, I'm not asking you to be a genius, but at least, let's have the same, maybe have the same level of intelligence. And again, I'm not even saying like, oh, I'm better than you because I read all these books. I literally mean like I could be talking to a guy and maybe I say something that you would think is common knowledge amongst adults and they have no idea what I'm talking about. Stuff like that.
Okay.
So I like people who are educated, and that can be so many things depending on the person. I like people who you're able to talk and have experiences, like can hold a conversation. Obviously, I like attractive men as well. That doesn't mean they have to be a 10. I just need to be attracted to you. So it's not about being stereotypically attractive. I just need to be attracted to you.
Right.
And also, I'm big on people who are friend and family oriented, like somebody who values their friends and their family and is dependable.
Okay. Okay. How old are you?
I am 28.
28. What does your social life look like?
My social life, me and my friends, if we're hanging out, we're either hanging out at each other's places, or maybe we go out to a kava bar sometimes. A lot of the times, if they're gonna go out to like a compa, it's like a Caribbean club or anything like that, sometimes I don't typically go. When I did have a phase, like, if you live in Florida or South Florida, you have a Miami phase. We would like go to Miami and all that stuff, but it's like, that's not really a genuine place to be meeting people.
Right.
Like, I might meet a guy at live or something and they're talking to me, we exchange socials, but I don't expect to ever talk to you again. It's not really a place to meet genuine people. At least I don't think.
Okay. So, but there's a big problem here, right? Because you're not putting yourself in environments where you would naturally come across the type of men that you're describing.
Basically.
Okay.
Like, when I was in college, this was obvious. Versus now that, obviously, because I'm not in a controlled setting where I'm like going to classes and, there's so many people around on campus, because I'm not in a, environment where I'm automatically going to meet people, it's become extremely harder to date.
Right. So, yeah. So I hear you. That's why I typically tell people to meet people I meet more in an organic setting, right? And there's two ways to meet people organically. There's dynamic environments and then there's static environments, okay? So dynamic environments are places where when you go, you see different people every time you go. It's not bad. That's what you've been doing. Problem is you kind of listed out some of the issues with meeting people that way. There's no reputation aspect to things. You still don't know these people. It also puts too much pressure on the interaction, because if a person doesn't approach you right then and there, y'all probably will never see each other again. You can't benefit from that slow burn effect. So the static environments are the complete opposite. Those are environments where every time you go, you see the same people over and over and over again. You just listed out school as being a static environment, right? But you're not in school anymore, so you have to find another one. So you want to start identifying static environments such as like hobbies, clubs, things of that nature, where you can see the same people on a regular cadence. You can become a regular at a place. Okay. So, for example, there was a client of mine who said that she wanted to meet a man who was a bit more ambitious. Okay. And she also was into professional development. So I recommended that she join an organization called Toastmasters, because Toastmasters is an organization that teaches you how to publicly speak. They meet on like a bi-weekly cadence, right? So anyone can kind of fit something like that in their schedule. 1 hour bi-weekly, that's very doable. Now, the reason why I suggested this is because they put her in a situation where she absolutely could not lose. One, the environment itself filtered for men who would be more ambitious, because a man who is joining Toastmasters, learning to publicly speak, is likely to be ambitious. So now she's rubbing shoulders with the type of men that she would want to meet. But even if she didn't meet a man in that environment, because she's into professional development, she still developed herself professionally. So there's automatically a win there. So that's what you want to do. You want to start putting yourself in those environments. Now, the important point is you don't want to go there on a mission to meet someone romantically. You want to go there to just spread positivity and engage.
Don't be too performative.
Right. You just want to show yourself as friendly, spread positive energy, and that's it. And let a lot of this stuff is just like a proximity game.
Exactly. That's my issue, proximity.
Right. You're just not in the room with the people. Once you get in the room, things kind of naturally happen. Unless there's something about you that's like, a turnoff or standoffish, right? So that, I'm not saying that's anything with you, but I have dealt with clients where that was something that needed to be addressed. Like walking around with like the RBF, you know what I mean? Not really taking care of their looks. Like you got to have like the basics handled. But assuming that you do have the basics handled, you put yourself in that type of environment and you're open to engage, things just naturally happen. Now, you also don't want to treat this as, like going back to that client example, right? I wouldn't say just do Toastmasters. This is more going to be like more of a long-term strategy. You want to just think from a static environment perspective. So don't ever have a single point of failure. Don't make it so like, okay, well, I put myself in Toastmasters. I didn't find anyone, so this doesn't work. It's like, no, find another one. Then find another one. And don't feel like because you put yourself in this environment that now you have to just stay here. You don't have to do that. If you find that you don't vibe with it, then just find another one. But this is going to be the better approach to start solving that proximity problem that you're having. And then you're benefiting from the whole reputation aspect of things because everyone here knows everyone else for the most part. You're also benefiting from the environment itself acting as a filtering mechanism and selecting for the exact trait that you want your partner to have.
Okay, so I definitely, that's definitely something I'll look into doing because one of the things that I was worried about with the whole hobby thing is my hobbies and the type of guy that I'm attracted to are like two completely different things. I'm very, artistic. I paint, I draw, like reading clubs and all that stuff, but most of that stuff, it's usually going to be women in those clubs. So I don't know why I didn't just, I guess what you're saying is like, I kind of have to like branch out and maybe find a hobby that aligns with the kind of man I'm attracted to.
Yeah, there's many ways to do this. Like a lot of people, when I start talking, they're like, give me more examples. It's like, we got to have more agency of that, people. Google and ChatGPT is a real thing. But there's tons of ways to go about it, right? Like when I did this, everything that I teach is things that I've actively done. I joined the Meetup app and I joined a group called Creative Intellectuals. Terrible name, by the way. I talked to the owner, so we got to get that changed. But they had like multiple types of meetups or groups within that overarching group that you could meet people. But they had a digital presence that extended to the real world. So the Meetup app was structured in a way where you can even see who was going to show up to whatever event was going on before you went and make a decision from that perspective because you had to RSVP. And they had a Discord leg where it's like you could engage with people who were a part of the group and kind of build digital connections before you met in person. Facebook groups operate the same way. This live is like this, right? This live, every time I go live twice a day. at 12 p.m. Eastern Time and 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Every time I go live, there's probably like 150 people here that show up every single time I go live, right? So it's a digital static environment, and we're actually going to, a few of us are going to Dallas, Texas, just as a meetup, August 14th through the 17th. So this digital community is now having a presence in the real world. So there's so many ways to do it. People think, they naturally think like, oh, well, gym, or I got to go, date someone who's a coworker. It's like, yeah, those are static environments, but there's tons of different options for it. You just have to like think about it for more than 3 seconds and you'll come to a conclusion. But yeah, so that's what I would play with if I were you. And that will be the way that you ultimately solve this problem.
And if you don't mind, I do have one more question.
Sure.
How do, of course, like as a woman, how do you get over the fear of, because again, I'm at a phase in my life where I have to date intentionally. How do I get over the fear of like putting myself out there, of, going somewhere and knowing in the back of my head that I'm like hoping I meet someone, but at the same time, I kind of have to just let things play out and also get something from the experience. But knowing in the back of my head that I'm hoping that I meet someone is like, I know I have to date intentionally, but I don't know, how do you get over that fear of like...
What is the fear?
It's not really fear. I guess if anything, desperation. Like I don't ever want to feel like I am forcing something or like too eager for something. But then at the same time, I know I want to date more intentionally. Right.
So just have multiple goals. So I tell people when they do go to static environments that they should also make platonic connections. Because every platonic connection you make, that could potentially lead you to a romantic connection.
That is true.
Right? So again, you're not going there on a mission. Yeah, it's okay to be hopeful, sure. But also be open to making platonic connections as well.
Now that, yeah, I feel like that will definitely help. That will definitely help me get more comfortable and equated into the environment. So every time I go, I don't feel like I'm just like on a mission.
Yeah, and then also you're doing something that you genuinely enjoy. So again, the Toastmasters example. I don't tell people to just find a random static. People do this with run clubs. They ain't never ran a day in their life. You can look at them and tell they ain't never ran before.
Bro, I remember that phase, the run club. Oh no.
Right. But it's like, yeah, if you enjoy running, that makes perfect sense. But if you don't, yeah, you're going to be there just looking for a man or woman to deal with. So that's why you want it to be connected to something that you're genuinely interested in or at least curious about. So just doing the activity of itself is rewarding.
Absolutely. That's really good advice. Thank you.
No problem, dear.
Thank you for taking my call. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Keep me posted on how it goes, right?
I will. Thank you.
Take care. All right, who do we have next? Bueno's Beauty Bar. Hello, how are you?
I'm really good, thank you. How are you?
Great, love. What can I do for you?
Hi, so I wanted to talk about this situation to you. I wanted to know what your thoughts are on it. So I've been involved with this guy on and off, I'd say 2.5 years. When we first got to know each other, it was kind of casual. We were seeing each other, but there was clearly something more there. And then I started to get attached, and then this was about 2 years ago, I started to get attached, and I told him, listen, I'm starting to get attached, so is this going anywhere? And because we're long distance, he lives in the Netherlands and I live in the UK, he said that that's not possible. So I said to him, well, I can't continue doing this, and then we cut it off. And then he would send me texts, apologizing and wanting to try again, and then I would tell him no, just leave me alone. And then a year later he would pop back in and just go on about how he should have done better. The last message he sent, we actually reconnected again, And then about a month ago, I went over there. He flew me out to the Netherlands and we spent about a week together. It was lovely and it felt really natural. And then about a few days ago, he came to London for work because he does travel back and forth from the Netherlands to the UK. And we saw each other for like one day and it was, I can describe as really romantic, really magical. It's really clear that both of us have feelings for each other and everything. So he's coming back to London next week and I was wondering, is it a good idea to bring up the conversation? Because in terms of actions, I can tell that he is great and there is something there, but he's not someone that vocalizes his emotions. And also, he hasn't texted me back in 3 days, but I'm just hoping he's okay. Most of all, I'm not really worried.
Okay. How did y'all meet originally?
So it was in central London. I was at after work drinks and he just approached me and the rest is history.
Okay. And how old are you two?
I am 26 and he is 29.
Gotcha. So y'all never entered a relationship. Y'all just kind of were dating or talking?
Yes, correct.
Okay. And then what was the issue? Why did that end?
So he is a workaholic. The first time round one, when we talk about it and what led to us ending was because he's a workaholic and also the distance.
Okay.
But I feel like from then on until now, a lot of things have changed. So he doesn't work as much anymore. And also, I'm kind of at a crossroad in terms of I wouldn't mind moving to a different country, even if it was like for him or not for him. I really liked the Netherlands.
Mm-hmm.
So even let's say things weren't to work out, I'd want to move there anyway. And it would be easy because I don't have to apply to visas or anything like that.
When you say that he
So
was
a
a
lot of-
workaholic,
Yeah.
how did that manifest behaviorally in the relationship? Like, how did that create a problem for you?
So a lot of communication, there wouldn't be a lot of communication. And also, whenever he would come to London for work, I would stay at his hotel. And then when he would come back, he would just straight away have a shower and go to bed. We wouldn't really talk much.
Got you. Okay. So
Yeah.
how has the communication been considering that he is not working so much?
It's been way more consistent than, let's say, 2 years ago. We text at least once or twice a day, which is no problem for me.
Okay.
But it's just a bit worrying that recently, it's been like 3 days, and the last time we saw each other was really intense. So I'm not sure, is he maybe pulling back
How
because he
recently?
got scared?
How recently did y'all reconnect?
So we saw each other in person about 4 days ago.
Okay. So you're judging this increase in communication based off of 4 days of data?
No. This was, so we reconnected from that long silence about 3 or 4 months ago, and
Okay.
then he took me to the Netherlands, and then we've been in contact ever since. 4 days ago was just the last time I saw him.
Okay, gotcha. So you reconnected 3 months ago. How did y'all reconnect?
He sent me a really long paragraph and text saying that he just regrets everything and just letting me go and making me feel like I'm expendable or
Okay.
not treating me with such importance.
And how long was the gap? Like when y'all ended, how long between then and you reconnecting? How much time passed?
I'd say about a year and a half.
Okay. The first time y'all were together, how long were y'all together?
I'd say about like 6 months.
Okay. All right. And why is it that he's not working as much now?
So he moved, I believe he moved higher in the company, which means he could delegate a lot of his tasks to other people, and it's just something he's wanted to do for a long time.
Okay. So when y'all reconnected, it's been like 3 months and y'all talk daily.
Yeah.
And then You saw him 4 days ago, and then it's been 3 days since you've heard from him?
That is true. I even asked him if he got back to the Netherlands safe, but nothing.
Okay. And your question is what here?
My question is, because we haven't actually, ever since reconnecting and seeing each other, should I have that conversation with him about where this is going?
No, not necessarily. How frequently did y'all see each other over the 6 months where y'all actually were dating?
I'd say like every 2 to 3 weeks. It's either I'd go to the Netherlands or he would come here for work.
Mm-hmm. When you saw him 4 days ago, did y'all sleep together?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think you like identified the wrong problem, which is, oh, he's busy with work, therefore he cannot communicate. That's not true. No one's too busy to communicate. Some of the most like successful people on the planet, we're talking like billionaires. There's a known thing for anyone who knows like really wealthy people, they can probably tell you this. They're very fast to respond, very quick. Very quick. Because they have a bias towards speed. They don't like open loops. So when there's an open loop, they want to close it immediately, so they respond to things very quickly. So if people way more successful than him, aka busier than him, can respond quickly, then that means he can respond quickly. He's just not doing so. And then the excuse is, I'm busy. No. So then that means that the busyness was why you weren't responding. So then why weren't you responding? If it wasn't because you were busy, then why were you not responding? We don't know. Might be some of an attachment style problem going on, right?
Yeah.
You just saw each other in person, which would, kind of spike somebody's nervous system, and then he's not responding for 3 days, but he's not busy no more. So why did he goes for 3 days?
I don't know. I feel like maybe my guess is maybe our last encounter. He does seem like, from my observations, he does seem like a fearful avoidant type.
Okay. Well, can you be with a fearful avoidant type?
This is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to, I don't know, give him the benefit of the doubt, but...
No, being with a fearful avoidant type is just accepting that this is what they do.
Yeah.
Okay, it sounds like you're unwilling to accept that this is just what he does. That's why y'all ended, right? You ended because, okay, let's say he is a fearful avoidant. Okay, well, he's acting like one, and you didn't like how that was making you feel, so you ended things. Right? Okay, so if you ended things then, will you just end things now?
And that's why I want to have that conversation with him first.
No, you're trying to have a conversation because you think the conversation is going to change his behavior.
Okay.
No, it's not how that works. You have to accept people for how they are. He's aware of his behavior, and he either lacks the willingness or the skill set to change it. So, for you, you have to say, if nothing was to ever change, and this is just who this person is, and they'll be this way for the entirety of me knowing them, am I willing to accept that? The answer is yes, then do it. If the answer is no, then just move on. There's no need to get with someone knowing how they're going to be and then constantly complain about it. That's a waste of both of your times.
All right. Thank you so much for listening to me.
No problem, love. Best luck to you, all right?
Thank you. Take care.
Mm-hmm.
Bye-bye.
You're going to send that text? I know, more than likely. This ain't my first rodeo. I know how these things go. But, yeah, that's why I tell people, man, it's like, when you end things with somebody, you break up, or you go on a break, which I think going on breaks are goofy. Like, if you're going to go on a break, just break up. Which somebody would ask me for a break. Toodles. Like, what are we talking about? Out of here. Out of here. But yeah, you break up because there's an unsolvable problem. Breaking up is a last resort. If you knew how to solve the problem, you wouldn't break up. So getting back together, like, you still haven't solved the problem. If you weren't able to solve the problem before, what makes you think you can solve it now? You know? Just taking space from a person does not solve any issues. That's why the whole break concept is stupid to me. Because it's like, taking time apart doesn't solve anything. That's not a solution. That's not a solution. Imagine you got bed bugs or some shit. Like, I'm just gonna take a break sleeping in my bed for a second. These motherfuckers eating me up. I'm gonna take a break. Now I'm gonna go back. Guess who's about to get bit again? What we doing? Call the exterminator. First step is you got to identify the problem. Second, the actual problem, not a symptom of the problem. The actual problem, which people tend to really mess up. You got to identify the actual problem. And once you do that, you got to find a solution for it. I can think of no situations, I'm sure there is one, but I can think of no situations where taking a break solved any relationship problems. It literally just resets the nervous system to get fucked up again. Exactly. You forget how you felt. That's all that happens when you take breaks or break up and try to get back together. You forget how the previous experience made you feel. And because now you're not feeling bad anymore, you're like, let's do it again. And then you ultimately realize, oh, it's the same old rodeo. The same situation. Nothing has changed. Especially when we're talking like months. Ain't nobody changing in months without divine intervention. Ain't nobody changing in a few months. If some years passed, maybe. But a few months, that's the same old, same old. Same old, same old. All right, who we got next? What's up, man?
Oh, what's up, bro?
Chilling, man.
I ain't gonna lie. I think I just wanted to know more so about that last part you was talking about, like coming to the acceptance. Like I kind of went through like more of a toxic situation, and I'm trying not to go back and be like trying to save everything. But you literally just said like we're not gonna change nothing in a month or whatever it is, and I'm like, damn, bro, that's exactly what I'm talking about. But I'm like, I want to fight that urge. I'm trying to be, you know what I mean? I'm trying to fight that urge to go try to fix it and keep trying to fix it. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, how do you come to the acceptance of that's just who they are? Or like, you know what I mean? You just give people space and then...
What's the specific situation?
So me and the shorty was talking. It was crazy. It was like real passionate and like, it was just like up and down. Like we would have real high highs and we had great days together, but then it'd get real dark once like liquor and stuff started getting involved and stuff like that.
Right.
It was like we just start arguing in public, and I'm not even an arguer.
Right.
I'm like, because she didn't like the fact that I had female friends, and sometimes they would call me, and she was like, "Oh, that's our time," and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, "What are you talking about? I just told you this before we even. And only been dating a month. I'm like, why are we doing this right now?" To the point to the police asked like, "Hey, can y'all be quiet or keep it down?" And I'm like, bro, I'm not about to do all this, bro. So I don't know, but in my head, I just keep trying to figure out how to get her to calm down. If she can calm down and we can stay on that high, like we'll be good. But I just gotta get it. I'm not interested in it no more, but it's still like fairly new, so I'm still trying to get over it type shit.
Okay. And the question is, how do you get to the point of acceptance?
Yeah, how do you work on acceptance? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, cause I'm like right there at the fresh part of it. I'm like battling sending text messages, or you know what I'm saying?
Gotcha. You're still thinking it's a solvable thing. That's why you haven't reached acceptance. Like, if I was dating someone for a month and we had issues to where a police even has to engage me in conversation, it's automatic out of there.
Yeah.
Because the shit, like, you gotta understand, y'all in the honeymoon phase. So, if you're in the honeymoon phase and the police are already involved, what do you think is going to happen when she stops being on her best behavior? Because she's on her best behavior right now.
Right, yeah, we got some more time involved, and then it just get more comfortable and it get bigger and bigger.
Right. That's
The
bad.
problem gets bigger and bigger.
Yeah. So I tell people, like, if the honeymoon phase you already having hella issues to where you having the type of problems you feel like people would have like a couple of years in, just leave that alone. Just leave that alone. You're thinking there's something that you can do or say on your end that's going to change the situation. No, that's not how that works. Like, are you willing to give up your female friends?
Nah.
Okay, well then that's a trigger for her, right?
Right.
So how do you think that plays out?
Yeah, either I'm gonna get away from them and that's gonna make me feel disloyal and stuff like that, or I'll isolate them. You know what I mean? Like, it's not gonna work out at all.
Right. Do you think she's gonna stop drinking?
Nah.
Okay. So how does that play out?
Bigger, more. You know what I mean? It's just gonna grow from there. It's just gonna be bigger problems. It's already a month in, and we doing all this. It's crazy.
Right. So these are two issues where there's not really any clear solution. So there's nothing you can say to get her to stop drinking. There's nothing you can say that's going to make her stop caring that you have female friends. You're unwilling to give up your female friends. So the connection just literally doesn't work. So that's how you reach acceptance, is it's like, oh, there's nothing I can do.
Yeah.
That's it. You won't reach acceptance if you think there's something that can be said or done to change the situation. There ain't nothing to change here. This is a fundamental incompatibility. It's a compatibility issue. So y'all don't live in a way that is congruent with making this connection work. So you just got to find out what he said. Start drinking too. But yeah, that's how you just gotta dip out, brother. How old is she?
28.
28. How frequently is she drinking?
Like every other day or every other weekend.
Nah, brother, get out of
Every
there.
weekend.
You're dealing with an alcoholic.
Yeah.
You're dealing with a functional athlete drinking every other day.
Yeah.
And then she's bad when she drinks? Nah. You're in for a big rude awakening. You stay with this. So,
Right.
yeah, I would remove myself from that situation. Would you care if a woman had male friends?
No.
Okay. Yeah, so I would say like that's what's up, Umi? I would say, yeah, you need to find someone who's a bit more compatible. For sure. Lisa just hit the nail on the head by saying she's numbing other issues with alcohol. And people drink that much, there's some other shit going on. Even smoking that much, there's some other shit going on.
Yeah,
It's
you're
like-
having something or dealing with something, fighting
Right.
something.
That's a symptom of a deeper issue. She's trying to regulate through alcohol. So and you remove the alcohol. It's like you take away her only source of regulation. So the deeper demons that's in there making her drink in the first place will come out. So it's like, yeah, just remove yourself, brother.
Gosh. My thing is, I'm trying to figure out how to speed run it. I'm trying to get over these feelings. Like,
Can't do it.
immediately. That's the thing.
The fastest way to get over a breakup is to literally feel the feelings that you're feeling. The slowest way is to try to suppress them. You'll take something that should take a month or two and you'll extend it over like a year or two. So the process of trying to get rid of them counterintuitively positions you to where like you have to deal with them longer.
Alright, so I should just sit with myself and then go through it, or maybe like write it down or something like that. Like,
Yeah, it's literally just feel the emotions. Like to process an emotion is to feel it. Once you feel it, you release some of it. You keep doing that, you get to a place where it's not really, you don't feel it as much. You bottle it up, you try to distract yourself, and you're gonna carry it with you, and that's gonna it'll twist it over time and distort it. So it's best to just feel what you're feeling.
Gotcha. Alright, because what I was trying to do is just try to stay busy, but I feel you. I'm gonna work on that. I'm just looking to it.
Yeah, that's it, bro.
Alright. Appreciate it. I don't take up too much time.
All right, Chief. We'll talk soon, man. Be easy. What should I just say? All right. Who else we got? Who else do we have? Think he's still going to deal with her, you said? I don't know. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
I have a question. My husband, we were married 3 years, and now for the past 6 months, he wanted a divorce because he living now in another state, and he didn't give an explanation. Just immediately to, of course, we had argues where to live. Eventually, he want to live in his place, I want to live in my place. But after he decided to divorce, I say, okay, give me another chance so we can live in one place. But it just shut down. It didn't give any explanation. It didn't just deal, nothing, just completely ignore. My problem is how I can solve this on me, not to get men who are not responsible with the actions. And because also my first boyfriend, he didn't take any responsibility. Like years were passing and we didn't get married, and I have this husband and we are divorcing, and we are like, he doesn't talk to me. He's avoiding me.
Right. Why
I don't know.
Why did he move to the different state?
We were from different. I'm from Europe. He's from Middle East. I went there to live with him and his family, but it was conflict with his mom. And then I decided to move, still make a space for us. Then again, I went there to live with him. Again, we got a problem with his mom. And we come here, then moved back there, and he finally said, you go back to your country, we will live there. I prepare, I find work for me, a place to live, to rent a place, and eventually find a job for him. Then he said, like, okay, I find it here, come here. I said, but this crisis with the Middle East, it was not very stable. And I insisted, like, more reasonable is to live in Europe. Then he insisted, no, come. And eventually he said, no, we will divorce. After he said that, I said, reconciliate, because all the problems we had, if it's me the problem, I said, okay, go and see your life. But whoever is in the situation, I don't think it will act differently from me. Maybe it will, but the chances are very low. And I said, it's very easy to break something, but it's very hard to build something. So for me, it's sad because we can build a life together, but the way he's acting is not responsible. Like, he doesn't take responsibility, and the situation I don't like. And eventually we have to meet, so we have to talk, so we deal with the papers, and I don't know how to react, so make it easy for him, but also to heal myself and not to deal with this kind of man. I don't know.
So what's your question?
My question is how to deal how to respond to men who are not responsible, how to break that pattern. I don't know how to say it.
You can't. You just choose ones who are, right? People have to stop trying to get with people just because they like them and then try to change them on the back end. You can't make someone who is not willing to take accountability or responsibility and then just force them to do it. It doesn't work that way. They either are like that or they're not like that. And it's up to them to be like that, right? That's a decision they only can make. Second thing, if somebody's trying to divorce you and he's not even trying to talk to you about it, that's someone who's already made their mind up for whatever reason, whether that's another woman or just because he just doesn't want to be there anymore. You can't do anything to change his mind, so you just have to honor those wishes and then move on with your life, unfortunately.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for your answer.
Absolutely. Best of luck to you. Just had to get in and get out of there because that was a lot of details. I didn't really want to. Didn't want to unpack that one because I feel like that was going to be a longer one. So just here's the answer. You can't do anything about it. Can't change it. Very unfortunate situation. Heartbreaking situation. But you just got to move on. But yeah, man, you got to I think I was saying this on CC's live, because you'll hear a lot of people complaining on the back end, this person doesn't do X, Y, and Z. When you are vetting people, you have to, wait, Eva, you know how we get down? When you're vetting people, you have to look at character traits. You're trying to assess their character. Stop just focusing on how you feel, how they make you feel. Look at character traits. If someone doesn't take accountability, that's going to be shown during like the courtship phase, the dating phase. That's going to be obvious. Someone doesn't do what they say they're going to do, that's going to be shown during the dating phase. Assuming that you didn't get into a relationship after 2 weeks of knowing them. If you've dated them long enough, you're going to see certain character traits. So you can't change a person's character. You can't do it. Can't do it. You can't influence their character. Can't do it. That's a decision that they independently make. So if you see they have a certain character and you don't like that, then don't be with them. Why are you committing to people? I'm not talking about the woman who just called in, just in general. Don't commit to people who don't have the character that you would need them to have in order to be with them. Just that simple. Just that simple. Some people will be like, well, they wore a mask. You don't wear a mask that long. Masks are not worn that long. You date someone long enough, that mask will fall. You want to see if they keep their word? Okay, do they keep their word with you? And do they keep their word with other people? More often than not, because nobody's perfect with that. Do they take accountability? Do they take accountability with you? Do they take accountability with other people? Right? This biggest issue is people aren't looking at those type of things, and they're literally only focusing on chemistry, which is, do we get along, and how does this person make me feel? Terrible decision. You have to unify heart and mind. Both of these needs to be included in your decision. If you're just using this, you're fucking up. If you're just using this, you're fucking up. You gotta use both. Okay, I like the way this person makes me feel. Now, who is this person for real? Can I work with this person? What's up, Daisy? Most people, they only use one or the other. The people who are using the heart, it's like, I feel good. The people who are using the head are ignoring the heart, and they're like, okay, well, this person looks good on paper. I think we have a deal. You know? That creates another issue. But there's like no passion. And you don't really get along. Yeah, you're compatible, but you don't really like the person for real. When you integrate both of these, you make better decisions. But then you also come to the conclusion that there really ain't that many options out there for you. When you start factoring in chemistry and compatibility, you get to see how few people you could actually work with. People think because they're able to have sex with somebody, that means that they can be with them. No, you can have sex with a lot of people. Depending on how desirable you are. Yeah, you can sleep with a bunch of them. But make a relationship work, that's a handful of people. That's not a lot of people. I don't care who you are. I don't care how beautiful you are. I don't care how intelligent you are. How desirable you are. How many people want you. Drake can only be with a handful of people. Michael B. Jordan can only be with a handful of people. Lori Harvey can only be with a handful of people. Tons of people knocking down their door. End of the day, they can only be with a handful of people. That's it. All right, we got another caller. Well, that's a little depressing. It shouldn't be depressing because all you need is one, right? It's only depressing if you don't want to just have one. You want to, play the field. You just need one person. But what makes people not give a lot of effort into relationships or not commit is they think the opposite of what I just said. That people are commodities, that they're easily replaceable. That's a trap. That's not true. Okay, think she's going to come up. Who else do we have? Hello.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm good. What can I do for you?
I have a lot of questions.
Okay, let's do one or
But
two.
I only need a piece of advice.
Okay. What's going on?
Okay. I'm in a relationship with my partner, and we've been together for some good time, like 4 years together. And he wants us to get married and have children. But me personally, I'm not yet ready for. Okay, I'm not yet ready for babies or marriage. But then if I ask him why the rush and all that, he says, first of all, that he's getting old, he's aging, but he has just clocked 30 years. He says he's aging. And, we haven't really, because me personally, what I want is going into marriage and babies when we have a beautiful house, we have established maybe businesses, not one or two, whereby we can have a stable income, so that I don't have to be worried, But we haven't put up a business, and we haven't constructed. And this person says he needs, babies and all. I need to introduce him to my family official and all that, So, kind of confused. However, he has babies. Okay, before we met, he had someone and they had babies together too. But they're separated, they're not staying together. They separated. For the years I've been with him, he has been my man till date. But, he keeps asking me, babies, if not, we get married and all that. But me personally, I also have my goals that I need to chase. So I honestly don't know what to do. And I told him I'll be ready in 2 years' time, but he says that's so long.
You'll be ready in 2 years' time to get married?
Yeah, and have children.
Why 2 years?
I feel like that will be the right time for me.
Why?
And maybe I would have made some investments for myself. That's what I think.
Okay. You can't do that while married?
Yeah, he has ever asked me such a question, but okay, what I want is that going into marriage when at least we have, at least when there is something that generates income on a daily basis, which is not there at the moment.
But why can't you do that while married?
Here in my country, here when you give birth to babies, normally women invest in more time, sacrifices and all that. And sometimes you can have a baby with a man, and a man leaves you get. But when you don't have any source of income, you have nowhere to start from. That is something that I really want to control.
So you're saying that if you were to have children right now, that would take all your focus up, and you can't build the type of investments that you want?
Yeah, because I've never had children. I don't even know how they hold children. I don't know anything.
Okay, so you're saying that you don't know what the experience of having children will be like?
Yes.
Okay, that sounds like that's the real. That sounds like that's the real fear here.
Yeah, and also, I've tried talking to a few friends that I have about the relationship and all that, and marriage and having children. They tell me that it's not good to have you know, okay, to have, it's not good to have babies with a man who has had that experience already.
Okay. We don't need
Yeah,
that.
and
Okay,
yeah.
so I mean, if that's true, then that would mean you don't want to have babies with him at all, right?
Okay, not because I don't want, I want, but I don't know, because my sisters have babies. Okay, they have had babies, but their experiences hasn't been good. I've had two sisters, and they have, you know, they got married to, with their men who had
Okay,
babies
hold on
already.
real quick, love. Hold on real quick. Here's your problem. The whole idea about business is and starting an investment. That's not the issue here. You don't know if you want to have children with this person. You're fearful of what will happen after you have children. That's the real problem.
No,
Hold
no,
on.
that's
Hold
not
on.
the
Hold on.
problem.
Hold on. Yes, it is, because everything you just said was what other people are telling you about children, and then also your sisters having babies and then it not going well. So yes, that's the fear. You're covering that fear up by talking about investments, and then you're trying to kick the can down the road 2 years. If I was to snap my fingers and it's like 2 years later, you're still going to be in this place of like, I don't know if I want to have kids. So considering that's going to be the case, we got to solve the problem now. Real problem is determining if you're going to have children with this person or not. That's the decision that you have to make. Trying to extend the timeline is not going to be a solution, because you're still going to have to make that tough decision that you're avoiding making right now 2 years down the road. So let's go ahead and make it now. Let's go ahead and figure out why you don't want the kids, or why you're hesitant or fearful around having kids and getting married, and then decide if it is just a general fear that you have, meaning it wouldn't matter who you're with, you still would have that fear, or if it's just a fear that you're associating with the current person that you're dealing with, right? You got to get clarity on that, because if you ultimately conclude that you do not want children and you're dealing with someone who is, the relationship does not work, so you must leave it alone. It's really that simple. This is not a complicated situation. It's emotionally complicated because you probably don't have clarity around it, but that's the core problem here.
So, what's your piece of advice? But
The advice is to get clear on if you want children or not. That's the piece
I
of
want
advice.
children, but I think this is not the time, because when I ask him why are you rushing? Why? Because he has children, and me personally, at least he has two babies. At least he has. But me, that I haven't felt that need of having babies.
Right. You haven't felt that need is basically saying you don't really want it.
I'm not saying that I completely don't want babies.
Well,
But I'll
you
never
at
have
the
babies.
you at the very least don't know if you want them or not. So what you're lacking is clarity on if you want them or not. So given that that's the problem, delaying the decision is not a solution. The solution, hold on. The solution that you come up with has to solve the problem that you're having. The problem that you're having is you don't know if you want children or not. Therefore,
at the
the
moment,
solution is not going to
at
be
the-
delaying it.
I don't know. Okay, let me tell you something. Here, where I stay, I live in Uganda, but where I stay, normally when, you can see people are madly in love, they get married, maybe they have baby, but once they have the first child, those people normally, okay, not all, but normally they tend to break up.
Okay.
They tend to break up. And me personally, what I've realized is that this person loves children more.
Okay.
He says at least he says that if me personally I don't want to maybe to give, if I feel like the kids will consume my time and all that, maybe he says I just give birth, I give him the babies, he will see the way forward, or maybe he will plan how to take care of them.
Right. So you're afraid if you have children with him, he may just like not want to deal with you anymore because he got what he wanted, which are the children?
No, I think sometimes a man can find all. I don't know how to bring it out. I don't know. Okay, I've had challenges that most men before him, but most men who used to approach me, all they wanted were babies. At least they wanted to have babies with me. You get? I don't know why. Someone reached to a point of telling me how much can I pay you for you to at least for us to have babies together.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, love. You're basically saying that your fear is this person, like the other men who you've encountered, may just want to have children with you, may not want you for real. If you give them the children, then he may leave the relationship because now he got what he even got into the relationship for, which is the children.
I believe the most important thing every single day he keeps talking about is babies, giving babies.
I hear you. We're getting into venting territory. I don't need any more details. We already have the problem established. So if that's the case, if you think that's going to be the situation, then don't have children. But what you're trying to do is say, let's wait 2 years. Waiting 2 years does not solve the problem. Because in 2 years' time, you're going to have this same fear, which is, if I have children for this person, is he just going to leave me because he got what he was looking for? That's my point to you. You're trying to delay a decision. You should just make it right now. So if you feel like that's the type of person that you're with, then you're probably with the wrong person. Because he eventually leaves you if you keep kicking the can down the road and then extending this timeline.
Okay, maybe some other fears that I have is that this person is too protective.
Okay, but I love this call has been taking too long, so I have to let you go. But I do hope that what we just discussed was helpful for you. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right, you have a good one. All right. Can't do too much of that. I was going to volunteer to tie your tubes myself. Let me get up in there and tie them hoes right in a knot, double knot, on some Boy Scout shit. Ain't nobody undoing this knot. We can solve this problem. Let me get my gloves. Let me get my gloves. She probably still yapping on the surgeon's table. Just shh, shh, shh. Just wrap a tube around her mouth real quick. Shh. I got it. We're gonna tie these up. Don't worry about it. Problem solved. Problem solved. All right. No more calls though. But if you would like to drop a question in the chat before I get out of here, feel free to do so. If you're new here, make sure to follow. I go live twice a day, 12 p.m. Eastern Time and 9 p.m. Eastern Time. So make sure to follow. Also, I don't take calls from people who aren't following me or answer questions from people who aren't. So you need to follow if you want any kind of advice. Also, if you want coaching, you can DM me the word coach. Yes, DM me the word coach, and I'll tell you exactly how you can book your 1 hour coaching call. Okay? Okay, let me get that. Boom. What's your thoughts on age gap dating? What's the gap? What is the age gap? $15 years? Or what are the ages? Excuse me, I should have asked the ages. My apologies. Woman 42, man 30. Hold on, that's not a 15-year gap. 35 and 50. 35 and 50? Who's 50? Who is 50 years old? Like, you can do it. I don't really know why you want to. Okay. 35. You ready to change diapers? When you 45, you ready to go ahead and take off them Huggies? Them adult Huggies? You can do it if you want to. But I don't know why. How'd you meet them? Here come all the 50-year-olds. 50 ain't old. Listen, I ain't say 50 was old. I said when she's 45, is she ready to change diapers? So I'm thinking about when he's 60. 60 is old. I don't give a fuck what you're talking about. Yeah, you're a little old when you get 60. Because they're going to keep getting older. We have to think about it. You can do it if you want to, love. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but why though? You know? What is compelling about this individual? And things stop working as they get older. Right. That's why you date closer to your age. I mean, 35 and 50 can work. It's still must be a great guy. Fantastic connection, hella chemistry. Keep that blue pill on your nightstand, problem solved. I guess. I think the woman being older is better than the man. Why is that? If the genders were flipped, I would have the exact same reaction. 50. That's like age gaps. I tend to like limit like 10 years. Makes sense to me. They say half your age plus 7 is like the lowest you can go, which okay. Umi would like y'all to know that adult poop smells worse than a baby. I agree. There's Takis in it. There's burritos in it. Yeah, it's gonna smell worse for sure. Shocked to hear that young fellas are using enhancements now too. Right. I listen to certain podcasts and they're shilling out those pills, man. Blue Chew. I've done an ad for Blue Chew. I'm harder than ever. I ain't never been this hard before in my life. Thanks, Blue Chew. I've done an ad for them before. I've done a few ads for them before. But can't even fit in these jeans. These pants are tight. But yeah, shame. We should not be shilling pills to the young men out there. No one under the age of 40 should be knowing what a honey pack is. It's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Ridiculous. All right, what other kind of questions do we got before I get out of here? What other type of questions do we have? Messing with a coworker, I wouldn't do that if like you care about the job. I asked you, can narcissists change? No, it's a personality disorder. That would be the equivalent of expecting a schizophrenic person to stop seeing things. So, no. No. Nope. How many narcs in the dating pool do you think? I don't know, but I know the vast majority of people saying they dated one or just don't know what they're talking about. I just got into a relationship based on Spark, but she also wants me to care about her. How to maintain Spark? You maintain Spark, man, by like keeping your own life. Like you want Spark and safety. So yeah, she needs to know that you care about her, but that don't mean you're emoting 24/7 or being super accommodating. You can accommodate, but don't come from a place of like, I'm just doing whatever I can to keep you happy. It's the wrong move. You still got to be connected to yourself and have your own stuff going on. How come I have no boundaries? I'm working on it. How does that manifest, you having no boundaries? She also wants me to care about her. It's so funny. Right. Facts. Woman cheats. Do you think she should get another chance or she will cheat again? No, move on. I'm like that for anyone who cheats, by the way. Like, it doesn't matter the gender. Doesn't matter the gender. Okay. All right. That call's coming to people, so I gotta run. Again, if you're new here, make sure to follow me. I'll be live again tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern time. What else? If you want coaching, DM me the word coach. I'll tell you exactly how you can book your 1-hour coaching call so we can solve your romantic problems. And if you would like to watch these streams of these lives, if you ever missed one, you can go to my YouTube channel. They're published there. Link in bio for that is at The Signal Dating. Check it out. That's it, people. Appreciate the mods. Appreciate the chat. I will see you all tonight.